This time on Roadkill, the very first car that we ever built together is back, and we love it more than ever.
That's right, and this is our most lofty goal ever for a road trip.
Raunchero lives!
Woo!
This is the first episode of season 12 of Roadkill, and this one is taking us all the way back.
I feel really old now.
I know, it's bad.
You paid how much for this?
$1,300. This is exactly what we need, because if we wreck it, it doesn't matter, right?
You look skinnier, I look way fatter from way back then, so you're in good shape.
I look like my dad now, though. It's all gray.
All gray, it's true.
Actually, it's white.
So is this thing, because it's been sitting outside for so long. We built this 1968 Ford Ranchero right here on the very first episode we ever shot. This is the car that started it all. We built it because we wanted to go to Alaska in it, and in our first episode, that was such a failure that we decided not to air that first episode that we shot. We aired something else, and this was the second episode. The history from there goes to 2 episodes where we actually drove this thing all the way on the Alcan Highway, clear to Alaska. After that, it was in a Subaru-sponsored episode where we blasted the thing around like a horse rink at a fairgrounds. And then it was in episodes 25 and 50 of the show. So that's 6 episodes overall, but it's been sitting about 7 years. This is the last of our cars that just sat outside and rotted. You remember we had the 363 in it when we went to Alaska, and now it's got a 302 in it. Last thing I have to point out about this car is the paint scheme. At the time we did the very first Roadkill, I was the editor of Hot Rod Magazine, Mike was on staff, and I built this to replicate the car that Hot Rod Magazine used to win class at the very first Mexican 1000, which became the Baja 1000. That's why it's all lettered up like this. In this episode, I think we gotta fix the steering. We have to make it run again. And you know where I'd like to go?
Where?
There's no guarantee this is gonna happen. I think we're never leaving the shop. But if we actually get out of here, say Wednesday-ish,
okay,
I want to cannonball to Arizona and go to the stakeout. We were in the junkyard pulling out that 64 Galaxy that we ended up hating and getting rid of, but there was a bumper sticker on a car that said the stakeout. And we're like, we gotta go there. But then we failed. And so now we have another Ford. I think we have to actually do it.
We haven't driven this in like 8 years. Now you want to go again. I
We'll
love
go 10
this
blocks.
plan. I love this
10
plan.
blocks. All right, we're gonna try and make it run. Ooh, scongy.
That was a brand new engine.
It was. It's a 302.
Wow.
Huh.
Wow, there's spider webs in the carburetor. Quick release battery, too.
This thing's been sitting long enough. This could be bad. That's varnish.
It's fine.
That's a good sign.
To put the fresh stuff on top. Okay.
What if this just fires up?
Yeah, I was like, why wouldn't it, right?
I'd rather hit the road than wrench on it, honestly.
Fuel, air, spark, and adventure. I really like this car. Maybe it's the nostalgia, but I don't know why we ignored it for 8 years.
The power steering is not hooked up. Water pump is. I put water in it. It's got a battery. All right, we're gonna crank it and see what happens. I'm gonna go all out and like carb clean it.
That's how you know it's day 1 of the episode.
Ah, good as new.
Do we have to bleed it?
The rear one's completely dry, but that doesn't mean we have to bleed it. That means we have to add.
Just put extra in the front.
Right.
It's fine.
I'm sure that just leaked out over time. Gasolina.
Remember when we couldn't make fire?
It was so cold.
Yeah.
We soaked paper in gasoline and couldn't set it on fire. It was
Inside
that cold.
of the car.
Yeah, that's right.
We were in the car trying to light it.
Oh my God.
Give me a splash. There's a hole in the funnel. Great. I'm putting this in the carburetor.
You got it. You got it. Run.
Okay. There we go. That wasn't very much. It all leaked out on my hand. Whoa, I'm sitting in it. It's in park. Here comes cranking. Dead. Nothing.
Let's see if there's a fuse or something. Because the wire going to the relay to trigger it is doing nothing. So I was using the digital multimeter to probe the wires, and a little known feature of the digital multimeter is if you just take the wire off and jump it from here to there, you could start the car.
Whoa!
See? Look at that.
It runs.
Hold on, we got a faulty fuel line dripping everywhere now.
Okay.
So it picked up gas, and now this fuel line is junk. Here we go. Alive.
Wow.
That sounds all right. Wow, that's pouring gas.
Is it?
It's bad. All junk, but we can fix that pretty easily.
Man, it runs good.
It sounded great.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, let's fix that. There's the dead one. I'm gonna throw this away.
Thank you, HRG, for your hose. I appreciate it.
Junk.
Okay.
Ready to start again?
I believe is fixed.
Go.
Hey, that's fixed.
Fixed. We're good.
That runs quite good, like for us. You at home, no, you wouldn't be happy with that, but us, yeah, it's fine.
We made it run surprisingly easily. The crank switch doesn't work on the dash. The ignition switch does. We're gonna put it up on the rack, check for fuel leaks on old rubber fuel lines that are soaked with ethanol gas, and check for brake leaks.
I remember installing new air shocks. They don't look new anymore.
No, we should try them. I don't see leaks out of the drums. Oh, the fuel line's hard line all the way up. We might want to replace this little piece of rubber right here. It's kind of cracked.
We could pull the back wheels off and pull the drums and see if the wheel cylinders are junk.
This one fuel hose is a little dry. I'm just gonna pull it off because what would the episode be if I didn't have gas in my armpit? Ah! Oh, it's going for the armpit. It is. Ah! Ah! It's 3/8, not 5/16. That's armpit. Ah!
OSHA is so excited about this.
Full armpit. Top fuel armpit.
I don't know why that makes me so happy. Let me get you some hose. I'll be over here.
Here, pull this off.
I don't want to.
I'm plugging it.
Oh, okay. Pull it off. Got it.
Okay. Ah!
If you ever want to go EFI on this thing, you've got the hose for it now.
So dumb. Ah.
See, we both have our roles on this show. David drinks the gasoline with his armpits. I change the sway bar bushing.
Okay, we're gonna try and see if these brakes are leaking anywhere. Boom. And that wheel cylinder's not leaking. All right, we're done here. Let me just go ahead and put that back on. How about the other side? These brakes are new and not leaking. At this point, we kind of fiddled around underneath the car and we're procrastinating on trying to fix the brake problem. That's good. You want me to start it and check the brake pedal?
Yeah, why not? Here we go. Dude, sounds good.
It goes straight to the floor and stays there.
So, bleed it?
Can attempt that, I guess. You're it. I'll work the pedal.
Okay, that seems fair.
Hydraulics.
You're doing great.
Up,
Okay, try it again.
down.
Yeah, we got nothing happening back here.
Yep, it's either the master or the whole system's plugged.
It's not moving any fluid. All right, Freiburger, go ahead and hit it.
Down.
Okay, whoa, hold on. We got brake fluid. Now I'm gonna pull the rubber line off and see if there's something going on in here.
I'm sure the rubber's clogged.
Maybe I can unclog it.
Empty?
No. The rear is what's lower here.
The smaller reservoir.
Yeah, but it didn't take much. Like, I was
Okay.
surprised.
Pumping. Down.
All right, starting to get fluid now. Coming down.
You want to leave it there so you can do the tires?
Yep.
I can get down. All right, we've bled the brakes, fiddled with some junk, replaced some hoses, haven't fixed the wiring. We decided we're gonna go for a test drive. He's gonna have to fire it up from out here.
I'm ready.
Ignition.
Ah!
It has oil pressure.
Oh, good. Let's go to Alaska. What do you
Let's
say?
see. Let's do it.
I dare
Let me
you.
try. Oh, it stopped. And the tires rubbed.
They hit the frame a little bit, I think. Let's ride.
Feels weird.
This rides exactly like I remember it riding.
Yeah, the steering is funky. Brake check. They do stop.
We've got them.
Kinda.
We have brakes. We have forward momentum.
Wow, it smells like a car that hasn't been running in a long time. The tach doesn't work anymore. Here, maybe if I turn this on. Now. Oop. Did you hear the starter?
I think you just fixed it, brother.
I think I did.
Whoa!
I didn't expect that.
Dude, little scratch.
It bogged quite a bit.
This thing rides good. It rides exactly how I remember. You just float down the highway.
Let's see, steering.
Looking for adventure.
You know what? I think we hated the steering for like drifting, but it's functional for just driving.
Yeah.
Wow, it actually runs pretty good.
Not bad at all, dude. That is not bad. That was fairly
Oh.
spunky.
Wait. Oh, I stepped on the brakes and it tugged right. I think maybe the rust is just wearing off the rotors.
Yeah, we're good. Dude, I think she's legit.
Yeah.
Definitely legit. Oh, dude.
This thing's mint.
Yeah. I like this car a lot now.
You can feel the secondaries open. They need to drop a little sooner.
Ranchero's back, baby.
Ranchero is back.
Let's
The
go.
Ranchero.
Cue the music.
Yesterday, we road tested this premium bit of Roadkill history, and it's way better than expected.
I've fallen in love with it again.
Really?
Yeah, we drove right out of here and went to Alaska. I wouldn't say no.
Let's go.
Dare you.
I wish we could. Today, all we need to do is maybe look at the alignment. I think the toe might be hinky. You on top of the wiring?
I mean, I'm adjacent. I don't know if I'd say I'm on top of it. There's wires there, yes.
Yeah.
Probably more than we need. And we'll either continue to start it with this or struggle trying to figure out why it doesn't work.
Nah, I think we can just run a switch inside. We don't have a starter switch, so we should be hitting the road today after a little bit of tinkering. I'm happy with this. Okay. So I got just the very surface tension ring of the bubble on the inside. Let's check the other side. They're the same and good enough. We just checked camber, which is the tilt of the tires either like this or like this. Now we're gonna measure toe, which is the tilt of the tires in or out. You wanna have them about a 1/16 to an 1/8 inch closer at the front than they are at the back.
I'm gonna hook it right on the edge of that groove right there.
This is 59 and an 1/8.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
What? You're hooked in a different place.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I am. Wrong groove.
Okay. All right, we're good. That is 59 and a 1/16. The alignment is flawless.
Wait a
Or
minute,
good
wait a
enough
minute,
for
wait a
us.
It's tighter in the back and wider in the front, so they're towed out.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we need to fix that.
Disregard, perfect. Yeah, you're right. It needs to come in a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, this is obviously an aftermarket tie rod end because the fasteners are metric, which is completely unacceptable. There we go. Now, we will determine if the wrong tool will rotate this. Now, the just spinning the tie rod, and it's gonna have to go this way. Okay, I've adjusted the toe, probably not enough. You gotta roll the car back and forth in order to remeasure. And you really should roll it forward as your final step. So let's call that good enough. You're going outside of the center tread, and I'm getting 59. Okay.
Outside of the center tread.
Yeah, 59 and 7/8. There's no way. I barely moved them.
Yeah, but you got pythons, bro. You're just spinning those things.
There's no way. My trick about measuring toe based on the tire tread didn't work in this case because it turns out the tire tread's nowhere near straight. So we've got a box here holding this piece of metal so that it doesn't move, and we're gonna measure from the inside of the metal to the inside of the metal. 67 and 7/16.
All right. All right.
Okay, once again, there's no way it's an inch. Something's wrong. You know what? This means we measured wrong the first time.
Yeah.
Because we measured on the tread. It's towed in, right?
Yes.
Yes.
By nearly an inch, I think.
Okay, so I need to tow it out, so I need to shorten the tie rod end. All right, I shortened up the tie rod ends, which kicked the front of the tires in. Now we got a 16th toe in, and I'm out of adjustment on one of the sleeves, so we're calling that good. See? No squeak now, because they're not fighting each other. Before hitting the road to Arizona, we decided to make use of our eastbound trip and the Ranchero's truck bed to transport an engine that Finnegan and I have been trading back and forth. So our plan is to go pick up the V6 that I traded you for a Hemi that I now am trading you back.
I think we're going full circle again.
Yeah, let's pick up that garbage and take it to the engine builder.
Yep. This thing just purrs.
Here we are, the evil 405 freeway.
If I squint, this is basically how we went to Alaska.
We're at 200 degrees. How could it overheat? It's headed at 210. Maybe it's because we've only ever driven it in Alaska.
There's no shroud and a fan only covering half of it, the radiator.
And maybe sitting for 7 years, rusted inside the block and clogged the radiator?
Could be.
I smell hotness. Maybe that's you.
Usually is.
Seems to be getting cooler while moving.
That's me too.
I love this car now.
I'm with you.
Okay, car wash, yeah.
First bath in like 8 years.
I just wanted to spiff it up, especially the bed, because we're gonna be loading stuff in it. Wow, filthy.
Look at that spot-free rinse, you know? I've been here in so long.
I know. It hasn't gotten any better since the time you helped me clean it out.
Somewhere in here is an all-aluminum Busch Series Chevrolet Performance V6 that maybe one day I traded you for a Hemi.
Right. So we're gonna drag it out, load it in the Ranchero, drop it off at our engine builder shop, and then it will become Finnegan's once again. Only the block is here. We're gonna have to go someplace else to get the heads and cam and crank and rods and all that stuff. That's it right there.
Dude, it's so cute.
Don't trip. Man, this is light.
It's so tiny.
It really is.
I love it so much that I'm excited to put it back together.
But wait, there's more. I bought this on eBay.
Oh, I do not remember that. That's
Brodix,
a Dominator.
23 degree for a Dominator.
Wow.
Yep.
This is really good.
Yeah, the box ram's over in storage, but that's what I was gonna use, because that's trick.
Dude, That's cool.
I know, I love it.
This V6 is from the original trade that Finnegan and I made when we were first putting together the Blasphemy 55 Chevy. I gave him a 535 cubic inch Hemi in exchange for a Chevy NASCAR Busch Series aluminum V6. He then blew up the Hemi a couple times, took it out, had it rebuilt, and surprised me with it in 700 horsepower trim for the Hemi Grammy. I figured the least I could do is give him back the V6.
So let me know when you're ready with that.
Yeah, all right, I got this. It's so tiny.
I couldn't tell you why, but the rest of the junk is here.
It's like the president and the vice president. They don't fly together. So the engine block shouldn't be with the crankshaft.
That makes sense all of a sudden. There's the intake.
Yes.
Yes.
Also cute.
It is very cute.
This is very light.
It's all cute. Oh, wait till you see the valve cover. Look at this. How cute is that?
Yeah.
It's adorable.
It is.
You know, this 4.3 V6 that this engine is based on is a small block Chevy missing 2 of the center cylinders. So it's the same thing, only cuter.
That is a NASCAR crankshaft right there.
Pretty good?
Dude, it's great. Dude, these heads are awesome.
Those are Brodix 195s, ported by Bryce. Look, it says Little Brody.
Little Brody. They're little baby guys.
It's so cute.
Oh, this is awesome. Sweet.
And that's it.
Thanks, Freiburger.
Yep.
Dude, it's like Christmas.
Load it up and get out of here.
All right.
I'll just load these gaskets while you're grabbing the heavy stuff.
Fair enough.
Where'd the block go?
It fits right there.
Ready?
Ready.
With your booty of V6 parts?
It's gonna be a good day. And we're off. Let's go.
All right, finally here we go to Yuma to drop off the V6 in theory.
Yes. I feel confident in this car and our inability to get there.
I guess all you care about is making it to the engine shop. Anything after that is just stuff.
If we get to the engine shop, awesome. If we get anywhere else, awesome.
I want the stakeout.
Oh, I would love the stakeout.
Will they let me in shorts and sandals? I read up on the dinosaurs. What do you want to know?
Other than the fact that they were in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, yeah, that's all I know about them. Lay it on me.
Some guy who worked as a sculptor and painter at Knott's Berry Farm started building them, or one of them, out of used I-10 construction materials in 1964. That one was not completed until 1971. Ah, the Cabazon dinosaurs. The absolute pride of Cabazon, California.
That's great.
I like the Superman T-Rex.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not that into the pumpkin. The whole time we've had trouble with the starter only clicking. I've got to like touch the wires together a bunch of times to make it go, and now it doesn't even click. So we're gonna figure that out. I think if we arc it across the starter solenoid or relay, that it'll probably work. It's this wire. I think this wire just doesn't have enough oomph. You want to arc it across? How can that be nothing? There we go.
Okay.
Okay, I think the problem is this wire doesn't have what it takes to throw this doohickey.
This does.
Yeah.
So you hop in and I'll get us going.
Okay.
I gotta have some job here.
Ignition!
I see no problem here. Gotta go under the hood to turn the fan on anyway, so. All right.
That'll be fun when it dies on the freeway somewhere.
No, that's not gonna happen. This is a reliable automobile.
Here we are.
That seems familiar.
Salton City. The last time we were here on Roadkill was the muscle truck in sand. Yeah. We're here in 100-degree weather, stopping in the middle of nowhere to visit Salton City. So this place was founded like 1958, 1960. They wanted it to be a resort. They overlooked the fact that the San Andreas Fault is right underneath the lake. Anyway.
Hey, it's my turn to drive.
Oh, that's right. It's Finnegan's turn to drive.
It's your turn to get just a right arm sunburn.
So here's a fun fact to know and tell about Salton Sea.
All right.
In the early 60s, clear through 66 or 67-ish, they had a boat race that was the Salton Sea 500. They raced 500 miles. Guys were out there in like their Allison V12 flat bottoms and stuff, doing a big oval.
Man, that's where men were men.
How do you like the Ranchero so far?
Ah, dude, it's a great car.
Yuma, you're my kind of town. Yuma,
Home,
Yuma.
You my favorite.
That works pretty good.
I like that we're almost there and I can eat finally. They got garages, dude.
Yeah. Swimming pool, movie stars, black gold. Boom. We're at Bostic Racing Engines in Yuma, Arizona. Hey, man.
Hey, what's up?
We made it.
Yeah, long time no see.
James is responsible for a whole lot of engines that you've seen on Engine Masters and also Roadkill. Today, we're here to drop off this V6. He's gonna machine it all up. My guess is you'll probably see this completed V6 on a future episode of Roadkill. There you go, headers you don't need. Heads, rods, block, gaskets.
But Freiburger bought this.
This is my favorite.
Because every little motor
Yeah.
needs a Dominator on it, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Check out the block. How cool is that?
I haven't seen one of these things in probably 15 years.
I've never seen it either, and it's been in my garage for 10 years.
It's all new.
We did a lot of them, and then all of a sudden, they came out with that LS deal, and then it was just
These
like
were gone.
gone.
Before we leave, can I get a tour of the shop?
Sure. Yeah, why not? Okay, so yeah, usually everything comes back here, gets unloaded, cleaned up, run through the washer, we mag check all the iron, heads, blocks, stuff like that. Just inspect everything, see what's good, what's not. So what we'll do is we'll go, and here goes to the surfacer.
Oh, all right.
And what we do here, we use a deck true fixture and centers, or goes off the main center line, but also you level off of the fixture.
So before you ever get to this point, have you already measured the stroke of the crank, the length of the rod, the pin height of the piston?
Yes.
And so you know, before it goes to the machine and you're setting the deck height of where it's gonna end up.
Yeah, so we'll do that, figure out what your deck height for zero should be, and then decide if we want zero deck, if we want them 5 out, if we want them 5 in, depending on application. And then we can come in, measure, and actually cut it within a thousandths of our target.
Okay. So this is the last stop in the assembly line of putting an engine together. This is the clean room, the engine assembly room. This is where you would be after all the measuring, all the machining's done. This is, you're gonna slam it together. Like that's a big block Chevy going together. Small block?
Yep.
LS. So these 3 things are all gonna get assembled by you and then dyno tested and then go into cars, trucks, boats, You do it all.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. How long would it take you to go through this whole process where it's back in the room ready to assemble? And what I'm asking you here is how quick can you get my motor done?
It'd probably be a couple days.
Okay. Everybody at home, Bostic Racing Engines, Yuma, Arizona. That's where you go to get your entire engine rebuilt in just 2 days. Good luck to you, sir. I appreciate it. I won't be calling. I'll just come back in 2 days.
I didn't say which 2 days, and they're not in a row.
It worked.
All right. Now what we got to do is figure out what we want the engine to turn into and what we want to put it into.
Yep.
I wonder how fast it would push a lightweight C2 Corvette drag car.
Put a turbo on it, it'll do whatever you want it to do. Question is, will it live?
Yeah, like, will that block move around at 1,500 horsepower?
It's gonna shake hard.
There's that.
It's 272 cubic inches, not that different from a 4.6 liter Ford. Just like with a 2JZ or with a Honda 4-cylinder, displacement isn't the limitation.
Airflow.
Airflow and
RPM.
and surviving.
Yeah.
We made it to Tucson last night, our familiar home here in Arizona. And before we take off, I want to fix the starter because we're going to the middle of nowhere. Our goal is Sonoita, Arizona in the stakeout.
Yeah.
I feel that because of the heritage of sort of the Baja 1000 vibe of the car, we got to go on dirt.
I'm down.
So let's not strand ourselves with bad electricity. What's happening is every time we go to start the car, we're touching two wires together in order to activate this relay. I'm gonna try and fix that. I'm gonna take all of these wires off this connection, scrape them all with a rock or make them clean, and do the same here. Because what we've been doing to make it start when it won't happen inside is coming out here and arcing from here to here with this tool, and it works every time. Wow, that is a lot of connections right there. Okay, I got all these clean. Now Mike's fixing the trigger wire, which is probably the real problem here.
Let's try it. Ready?
Yep.
Here we go. Declare this car fixed. Let's go off-roading. Allow me to start our vehicle from inside the car.
Okay, I think it's gonna be right here.
This gets us to stake.
Yeah, we're looking for a small dirt road to get us to Sonoita and the stakeout.
I love it.
Want to get there on dirt as much as we can.
I want to earn the ribeye.
It's gonna be right. That's the road right there.
Oh, all right.
Here we go.
Well then. Now, how's your back feeling?
That's a big hole right there. Ugh. Do I need to review the basics of off-road driving for you?
It didn't look that bad. I was like, that's not that bad. Right at the last second, I was like, I'm gonna step on the brakes.
Yeah, that was not good terrain reading. Ooh, donut shop. I'm gonna get video.
All right.
All right, this is gonna be Finnegan doing donuts in the Ranchero for the first time since we've seen it in snow. It'd be so much better if this thing wasn't a one-legger.
Oh, there's the tree there. I feel like I'm driving through the back seat. Uh-oh.
I may have to go start it for him. Remember the whole field repair this morning in the hotel parking lot? That didn't work. You might have a little bit of weeds in the tire bead.
It was really fun.
Battery's good.
Oh, good.
See if we can make this work.
We're back. Donuts for lunch, donuts for dinner, donuts for breakfast. Here we go.
All right, we're gonna get out of here before he breaks it. All right, let's get out of here.
Ooh, jungle. I like where this is going. Jungle's rough, though. Ooh.
Ooh, I don't know about this.
The jungle's very rough.
This is sketchy.
That is all mud, dude.
Give it a shot. You got this. Yeah, no problem.
I'll try to make it smooth.
There we go. And I see straight. Ooh, be careful of that big log. Ugh, I keep picturing that one right in the oil pan.
I feel like we have pretty decent ground clearance, you know?
Whoa. I like this car more and more, actually.
I really like driving this car. Made it.
I'm surprised how much I like this little 302. Maybe it's because we didn't build it.
Pretty much. I mean, it works good.
I wonder what that is.
Twig?
Uh-oh. We have a problem. This tire has shifted all the way forward and making contact with the sheet metal. It's like the whole rear end in the car is, So we got to figure that out. All of the rubber is missing from the isolator on the driver's side. So my guess is that it's something going on that side. Let me look. The ants here are enormous. More troubleshooting here. We're trying to sort out that crooked rear end problem. I'm gonna have Mike drive by and get on the brakes. I wanna see if we can actually see that wheel moving. It looks like it's crab walking going down the road though. It looks funky.
Let's see. A little brake check in front of Mr. Freiburger here.
I didn't really see anything. Go on, I wanna see how bad it crabs.
Okay.
It's crabbing pretty bad. From the back, you can see that the body is like, you know, running sideways like a puppy dog. There's still a chance it's been this way since day one when we drove it all the way to Alaska. I just don't know. I think I might have just noticed because there's so much mud on the tire that it was rubbing that leading edge of the wheel opening.
No, that could be the steering.
Yeah, doesn't it look funky?
It pulls to the right really bad, but...
It looks funny.
All right, so it is crooked then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna try and drive back to town, get a jack and some jack stands and park it on some level ground and really troubleshoot it. It looks really, really funny. When you got on the brakes though, it didn't look like the rear end shifted at all.
I'm just gonna have to work a little harder for this steak. No big deal. This car hadn't moved in like 8 years, and look at what we've done. Look how far we've gotten. We've Uber parts to an engine builder. We've driven hundreds of miles.
Cruised 80 on the highway.
Yeah. And, you know, a little mishap in the dirt. I blame myself.
Alrighty, check this out. We drove all the way over here. We got the tools that we needed. We parked on some nice, smooth, flat concrete here. But then, through the power of the Motor Trend Plus app, I went and found the episode in season 2 when we drove this thing all the way to Alaska, and they had this shot right here that clearly reveals that that tire has always been off center in the wheel well. The reason I noticed it is it was rubbing mud off of it. I think what we need to worry about though is why this thing's now pulling hard to the right.
Yeah, I think we've knocked her out of alignment.
The thing is now, if you look at the car directly from the front, you can see that this tire is and also so it's junk. Remember when we were back in the shop and I was setting toe on the tires? Well, that's the problem that we've got here. This one's towed way out because this tie rod is bent. And I'm gonna climb underneath and loosen it up again and adjust that again. Okay, rotating this thing. You know what this means is the Ranchero has crabbed down the road ever since we've had it. We never noticed it.
There's no jack stands under the car, but there's a brand new set of Duralast jack stands sitting in that box right there.
All right, let's drop that and see if we like it. Okay, and we have a brand new Duralast jack. I think I got it. I nailed it by eyeball. I'm gonna have Finnegan drive this thing around a parking lot and tell me if it's good, and when it is, I'll lock it down and we'll be out of here. Ah, look at that arrival. That had flair.
It's much better.
Fixed.
Let's go. Should we go get steak?
I would like to. Whoa. That's pretty good. I like it. How's it drive now? Like no pull? Let go.
No pull. Look at you, sir.
Just the master technician.
You're an expert in your field.
You break it, I fix it.
We make a team.
Everything's going so well.
Don't jinx it. We're gonna make it.
This thing's back to cruising perfectly.
Yep.
How's it going?
Dude, it's like butter.
Wow.
A little bit of pull, but
That's a crown road, it's fine.
yeah, it sounds good, it looks good, it feels good. We're gonna make it.
In 1967, Hack Miller and Ray Brock actually won their class at Baja with one of these, and you broke it doing donuts. You're hard on equipment.
They didn't go to Alaska first.
That's it.
Just saying.
That's the key. All right, coming up next, the stakeout. We made it. I did not expect this place to be in a gas station parking lot.
I just know I'm happy to be here after 3 years and 8 years of this thing not moving, so.
What a completely stupid goal. All because we saw a sticker on the back of a car in a junkyard.
That's all I need.
Aged steak?
Yeah, and then revisit this again.
Yeah. Let's talk about it over dinner.
High five?
High five.
High five.
At first glance, this is an episode about setting a goal, no matter how thin, and using it as an excuse to go have an adventure with your buddy in an old car. We did, and finally made it to the stakeout, checking a minor victory off our list. But looking deeper, Finnegan and I really came to realize what the Raunchero means to us. This is the first car that we ever built together. We never made it to Alaska in the Raunchero in season 1, and that was our first big fail. Then, getting it all the way to Alaska in season 2 was our first really huge win. We let the car sit abandoned for so many years as we tackled other stuff. And simply reviving it for this episode brought back so many memories over the past 11 seasons. And now, we love the Ranchero more than ever. What a great way to kick off season 12 of the show that's really just about our lives. It's the show that we call Roadkill.
Oh, you slide so good, car. This time on Roadkill, we bring a redneck limo back to life, drive 500 miles across California, and Freiburger makes his best pass ever in his '56 Chevy. Just not on this one. It was before, you should have seen it. It was incredible.
Did the drive shaft fall out of it? All right, Finnegan, you ready for me to get all literary on you?
Oh, I love this part of the show.
Here it comes.
Yes.
The best laid plans of mouse motors and men may often go awry.
Very smooth.
What do you think? Robert Burns, he was a Scot. It was a poem or something like that. It was
I
great.
believe you.
Steinbeck wrote a book later of Mice and Men. Anyway, the plan that completely went upside down on this episode is that we wanted to take my completely lovable '56 Chevy and race it at the last 4 drag strips in California that I've never been to. Unfortunately, there's like 80 to 100% chance of rain for the next few days, which means it's going to be completely dry.
Yes, it usually works out that way.
It does. But we're on slicks, we have no side windows, it's going to spray the whole engine with water, and we have no wipers. These sound like a lot like excuses, don't they?
Opportunities is what I like to think of them as.
Normal roadkill, we just hop in this thing. But instead, we have an even more absurd plan. First of all, we're gonna put this on a trailer. Second of all, we're gonna tow it behind Mike's new truck.
You love my choice in vehicles. I know you do. This is amazing.
It's amazing. I'll give you that.
Oh, so this is a 1986 Chevrolet Crew Cab Dually that might have been stretched a little bit into a limousine for a very specific purpose. And that purpose was picking up patrons from one bar to take them to a club where people might take their clothes off, allegedly.
This isn't making me want to ride in this truck.
Well, I'm sure they cleaned it before they sold it to me, you know? No, they didn't. They did not at all. And I don't know if it runs or drives. There's a car phone, dude.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, look, wood grain wheel.
I'm all in.
Two-tone velour, brown carpet, dude. I mean.
It's disgusting. It's a big block. Does it run?
I mean, it did when I bought it, but I let it sit here for probably a year, so.
Here's the thing about this episode is Finnegan is absolutely showing his ass.
I didn't see it at first, but yeah, that's Harry S.
He's cute.
So we're at Hot Rod Ranch here in Lompoc, California, and we've been here a bunch of times because Gil and his brothers have a knack for finding all of the cool automotive treasures. In fact, they were the ones that found the '66 Corvette that I bought that we fixed up on Roadkill and road tripped here. And the last time we were here during that trip is when I fell in love with this red behemoth right here. We're gonna try to get it running here today by dragging it in the building, and then we're gonna road trip it with Freiburger's car on the back until we can find a drag strip that is not underwater.
That's good.
Sweet.
This is my 1956 Chevy that we call the Field Car. I bought it years ago as a bare body with no front clip. And the thing is, it was mint, no rust whatsoever. Meanwhile, the Hot Rod Garage Show on Motor Trend had a 56 Chevy that they rebuilt, and it had a rusty pile of garbage for a body, but they made the frame great. So on an episode of Roadkill Garage, Steve Dulcich and I did a body and frame swap. We put the Hot Rod Garage chassis underneath my 56 Chevy body. Later on, we ended up installing what we call the COVID 350. It's a 350 small block Chevy that I built during the pandemic lockdowns, and I just used like spare parts in my garage to make that happen. It made 500 horsepower on an episode of Engine Masters, and it runs to 7,000 RPM. This car's great. I think the quickest that it's been at this point in the quarter miles, 11:45 at like 118. And that's why I wanted to drag race it this week. And I don't think we're gonna get a shot until the very end of the episode when they claim it's not gonna rain. Okay, battery. Is there a switcher? How does this work?
There's a isolator right there.
Oh yeah.
And then there's a solenoid there, and there's a button on the dash, and you can switch from battery to battery. I'm pretty sure this one is dead.
This thing has got the 454 carbureted engine with 230 horsepower.
It's slow enough that you don't need a battery hold down in this. You just put it in there and call it good, I guess.
All right, I'm gonna see if it'll crank. Oh, wow. Only has one dead hole. Hear how it cranks fast once? That's one cylinder with no compression. Starting fluid, maybe? That's a quadjet. Install about a quart of gas in there. Ready?
Give it a shot.
That's gonna work.
All right. That sounds really bad.
Is this how it runs? Oh, the choke's completely closed. Hold on, let me get a screwdriver. See, it fires right up. Let me throw some more gas in it. Just a little splash.
Now we have fire.
Yeah, we do.
All right, we're troubleshooting. Why doesn't it want to run? Well, it's pretty apparent it doesn't have fuel going to the carburetor. We're not sure that both tanks have fuel in them. We're not sure that the switching selector valve between the tanks work. We're not sure the fuel pump's working. Is the ignition on?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and switch it.
Switched.
Switch it again. Oh, hold on.
I don't think the fuel switcher's doing anything. Either it's totally dead back here or I don't have a good ground. I'm not sure which. I don't know. You may want to check fuses.
Okay.
Because nothing's lighting up back here.
Heater, stop hazard, taillights, gauges, and there's a bunch of other aftermarket wires going in it. We're trying to troubleshoot the valve back there that switches between the passenger and driver's side tank, and it looks like there's no power, so we've bypassed the fuse block. Okay, it should be hot now, and we're jumping from the battery direct to back there, and then we'll see if this thing clicks up here and if it does anything. I clicked.
I don't think it's doing anything.
Then it must have another power wire. All right, we messed with that valve in the back. The next thing I'm gonna do is take off the fuel line at the carburetor to see if it's even squirting fuel.
You got a really good rhythm.
There's no fuel in that carburetor.
I'm gonna regret saying this out loud, but rarely has a problem been so obvious that I actually solve it on the first try. I crawled under the truck, trying to find a fuel filter, couldn't find one, but I grabbed this piece of hose, this one little piece of hose that connects the factory hard line from the fuel pump to the tank, and with 2 fingers I went, that's really squishy. And so I just replaced it, and when I was looking at it, I realized, oh, what? You can't see through this hose. So that's our clog. I have all kinds of fuel coming out of the factory hardline, nothing getting through this hose, and on the other side of this hose is our fuel pump. So we should be good now.
Finnegan found a guilty hose, so we're trusting that it's now gonna work. Ooh, I smell gas up here.
There we go. It's alive!
I have bad news.
The whole carb leaks?
The radiator's barfing everywhere, or something wet. See?
That's our fuel pump puking out of the little hole in the side of it.
Yes, it is. Oh, that's bad. We need a fuel pump.
We need a fuel pump. All right.
Hey, but your hose was a problem.
Right.
Right?
Well, our fuel pump's junk. We ordered a new one. We're waiting for it to arrive, and while I wait for that, I'm just gonna clean.
Such luxury. Look at all the velour.
Our fuel pump arrived. While we were waiting, we loaded the 56 on the trailer. Now we're ready to make this change. I'm gonna clamp off the fuel line so that we don't have another big flood, and then I'm gonna force Mike to do this part of it. There you go.
Got it.
Great.
That's where the fuel was puking out earlier.
Okay, as I suspected, the holes in this fuel pump are not big enough for these bolts. They're drilled for 5/16. The engine uses 3/8.
There you go. That's the stuff. Solid.
The mechanical fuel pump is back in place, so we're gonna see if it runs. Pump it. No leak. It's working. You can hear it groaning a little bit, just like power steering does when you turn it all the way to the lock. That's the Hydro Boost, which is the system that uses the power steering pump to do the power brakes also. How do the brakes feel?
First 3 inches don't have anything, but then it has a pedal. I think they need to be bled.
It's drinking down the rear brakes.
It is? So we got a leak somewhere.
We can't catch a break because Roadkill. The master cylinder front half was bone dry.
Well, wheel cylinders in the morning. All right, so we'll stay in Lompoc.
All right, I'm done.
I had fun. I still love it.
It's the next morning, and big surprise, it's still not raining, but we're still working on the truck. Last night, we discovered that the brake pedal goes right to the floor, and one of the master cylinder reservoirs was completely dry, so we're gonna take apart the back brakes and have a look. One down, and now the spidery one. What we're dealing with here is what's called a full floating axle. This design prevents the weight of the vehicle from being carried by the axle. It's got wheel bearings in it, very similar to what you'd typically find in a front drum brake. And it's going to be a pain in the neck to get apart. There's a adjusting nut in here, and we don't have the tool for it, so I'm going to be chiseling it. Now this should rotate. Okay, there's that. And that, and don't lose that. There we go. Yep. Okay, that's leaking bad. There's brake fluid all over the shoes. I'm seriously worried about spiders here.
When we have brake fluid, that's good news. Things are looking up. We have figured out what's wrong with the brakes on our truck. First, the inner seal for the bearing on the drum was blown out, and it was leaking gear oil all over. You can see how messy it is, but also our wheel cylinders were junk, and they were leaking everywhere. But we got really lucky because local parts store had brand new ones from Duralast. Old Chevy Crew Cab Dually, not real popular, so the fact that we're able to walk into a parts store and get these bad boys brand new is very good. So we're gonna put these in and keep on trucking. Our brake drums are now ready to be installed. We sent them out to Pacific Brake and Tire here in Lompoc because not only did the drums need to be turned because they weren't round, but the oil seal was stuck in there and we couldn't get it out, and the bearings needed to be repacked. So this is ready to go right back on the truck. And then all we gotta do is bleed the brakes and drive out of here someday. Okay, that drum is in there. The hardware is in there. We are making progress.
We have the brakes all reassembled, and it feels like I have an air bubble about this long in the system. So now we're gonna go bleed.
The horn works. Down.
Up,
Up.
down. Okay, that's it for this side. It's getting pure fluid now.
I'm doing a very important job. I'm setting our factory clock, which functions.
Down,
Down.
bubbles.
Well, we have brakes, but we also have some kind of weird power steering.
This thing has hydro boost, which means the power steering actually activates the power brake booster. It can get air in it, and it's more of a complicated bleeding process than if you're just doing power steering. You have to fire it up with the wheels on dead center and then just move it back and forth really slowly and keep going further and further and further until you are going all the way around. No bubbles. We've got it all bled. There's no bubbles in the power steering reservoir, and it doesn't chatter when you steer it or when you put it on the brakes. The only problem that we seem to have is it doesn't really want to take throttle, right? Oh, that's not bad.
That time it was better.
Yeah, we think maybe it's bad gas. Don't know, don't care. We're going to sleep, and tomorrow morning we will drive it for the first time. All right, first thing in the morning, we are test driving this thing, as promised.
It's in the sun. I don't know if it's gonna make it to the drag strip. Just, that's half throttle.
Oh, there you go.
There we go, all right.
How's the brakes? Oh,
Brakes
great.
are money.
It's the best part.
I wonder if the fuel filter in that carburetor is clogged from that rubber hose that collapsed.
No, I'm thinking all we have to do is mix new gas in.
Okay. Oh, wait. Hold on.
There you go.
It's fixed.
Except for the death wobble.
Oh. Mud on the tires? Let's go with mud
Let's
on
hope.
the tires.
Yeah.
Mud on the tires, yeah.
That's 230 horsepower.
Yeah, I mean, it got better somehow by leaving. Now it accelerates great. 75, which is probably 70.
It's pretty smooth.
Yep. Maybe it needed to warm up and whistle while it worked.
Or maybe the choke needed to open. How about crack the vent window just a little bit? I thought you would know all these square body tricks.
Let's go hook a trailer to it.
stop. Okay, we're good. And we're off. How's it feel?
Oh, dude, it's like it's not even there.
Oh yeah, people love it.
People love it, see?
Everyone's waving. They love it. Hello? It's the 56 Chevy calling.
What does it want?
It's collect. Yeah, I accept the charges. It says slow down so it can catch up.
I'm gonna floor it. Ready?
Yeah. I'm ready.
That was it.
Go.
That was it. I mean, it's going.
It's on the wood.
There we go.
Oh, transmission shifts well. If the trailer was back there wagging, we wouldn't even know it or feel it.
This truck's so long, it probably won't let it wag.
I feel like my 56 is in another zip code.
You just made me laugh, and now I have the hiccups.
Now we're heading to Eagle Field, which is, surprisingly, a track I've never been to.
I didn't know that. I thought you'd already been here. How many drag strips have you been to, Dave?
106.
Whoa.
Yeah, Brian Loans and I collect them. He's way over 200 at this point. Even if they're closed, you can mark it on your list. You just have to have been there. And so I'm going to be able to mark Eagle Field off my list, even though we're not going to be able to race. I've also kept track of how many tracks I've actually raced down, because that's the only way I can beat Loans. And it's like 52 or something like that.
Oh, you've made passes at 50. That's impressive.
Something like that, yeah. 1.5 miles. Have arrived. Gates open. Wow, this is cool.
This is it, dude. It starts way back there. Yeah, this is the finish line of the track.
Okay. And this is an active airfield, so that's great.
I mean, I'm sure they can see this big red thing from the air, right? Stubby Bob's marks should be right out here somewhere. Oh, yeah.
They labeled the Stubby Bob mark for you with the water bottle. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Full on.
That's the trailer hitch.
Yep.
That is deep. If we were at a drag strip, they would have made me pay for that. And I would have just ran away, because that's expensive.
Hardcore. So this is where all 6 wheels came off the ground.
This is hitch dug in, stood straight up, motor trying to fall out of it, all 6 wheels off the ground.
Drive shaft wobbling around.
Yeah, this is, wow, I'm so glad we came here, because, what was that, 5 years ago?
We did some kick-ass wheelies.
Dude, we did.
Oh my God.
We did.
So this is Eagle Field. Like most airfields all over the country, this was a World War II deal. It was a training field. They taught kids how to fly planes. Wasn't really used as a drag strip back in the day, as many of these were, but in 2009, they started doing the retro drags here. And it's a big deal, and I've never been here before, but all my friends have. So, super cool.
This place is awesome.
Let's go.
Dinner?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dinner. That's bright.
Yeah.
This thing has been awesome. Actually mint until last night when we got off the freeway and it died a bunch of times and we don't know what's wrong with it. And the power steering's leaking all over the floor. So we're gonna have a look at spark plugs in the carburetor and junk like that.
What if when you took the air cleaner off and put it back on, one of the hoses just didn't go back on? We have a vacuum leak.
Oh, almost 90% probability.
Then let's not do the spark plugs.
All right, go for it. Let's pull the air cleaner off.
All right.
Yeah, we need a new filter too. Oh, there you go.
Vacuum leak?
Yeah, probably not enough to make a difference, but yes, that is a vacuum leak.
All right, where did that go to?
Right there.
All right, let's put that on.
The Quadrajet has a secondary air door in the back. It's kind of what opens and gives them that kind of sound when you're flooring it. And our stick's open, which is going to give us issues. And so we're going to clean and lubricate that. I'm calling that fixed. Oh, there's no vacuum here. It's ported vacuum.
It's getting smoother.
It runs on 7, but it's good.
Seems good.
Let's go. Nope, needs a little bit more oomph. Ooh, that was close. There, boom! That was nice. Ready, Mike?
Ready, Dave. Let's go see another drag strip.
Kingdon drag strip is the goal. We're only 12 minutes away. Man, I thought we were gonna be able to go on the track at least.
You mean the airstrip? Where the planes are landing?
Right. At least in. Yeah, that's kind of the rule. You kind of got to stand on the actual, like, plot of land.
This one won't count.
This one counts.
You're not standing on the starting line.
You don't have to stand on the starting line. We made it.
Kingdon Drags.
What counts as having visited a drag strip? I'm okay with finding a sign. I would rather be on the starting line. Unfortunately, this is an active airport. We don't really have permission to be here. We'll go look around and I'll tell you what it's all about.
See,
That's the starting line right there.
Now you can claim it, because we're over here.
Wait, I have to touch the tarmac. Ready?
Right.
There. We're not allowed to go further. This was a Army airfield. It was actually called the King Burry Auxiliary Airfield when it was first founded in World War II. Later on, it changed to Kingdon, obviously. Here's the good part. You know who Big Daddy Don Garlits is, right? Mm-hmm. Don Garlits, arguably one of the greatest racers of all time. People call him the greatest drag racer of all time. But he was kind of nobody here on the West Coast in 1959 when he came out and raced at Bakersfield at the March meet. So he shows up out there with his dragster, and all of the Californians, first of all, they call him Don Garbage, and they just smoke him really badly. They beat him, and he's like, I can't have this. So Garlits goes to Iski Cams down in Los Angeles, puts a supercharger on his car for the very first time. That's why the Californians were beating him. They had blowers, he didn't. And so, 2 weeks after the March meet, he comes right here, and this is where Big Daddy Don Garlits ran a supercharged Hemi for the very first time.
Oh, that is cool.
We should roadkill this.
Yeah.
I wish to death I was racing my 56 here. I guess our last chance for drag racing, it is gonna be Reading Drag Strip, where we have actual permission to be on the track and run my car.
Oh, well, let's go there then.
200 miles away.
Nice.
This thing is huge.
She's beautiful.
Ask me how many drag strips I've been to.
How many drag strips have you been to, Dave?
108. That's a recurring gag, by the way. 106, 107, 108. Tomorrow will be 109.
Oh, STD. Stripper truck diesel.
I have the keys. I dropped the keys. So it's my turn?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I got you something. It's
Oh,
random.
Thanks. Didn't know you cared.
I care that much.
Feels so Christmassy.
I'm not gonna ride shotgun. I'm gonna take full advantage of the situation.
Sir, may I take you to the airport?
Drive, James. Don't talk, just drive.
Oh, this is my first time driving this thing. Okay, here we go. This is long.
Whoa, easy there, guy. Hey,
Brakes work pretty good.
Dude.
What? I'll just cruise the roundabout while you're figuring it out and having your first course.
Nope. This is life. Oh, hold on. All right. Let's save that for the dog. Oh, man. It's good to be me.
This is actually plastic. Not even scented, not even flocked. Oh, we're screwed. And we're running out of gas. Oh, no steering, no brakes. I was driving this thing along. Finnegan was asleep in the back. It's my first time at the wheel. The truck dies. I pull it over here into this really awkward, bad situation, and it's puke and power steering fluid everywhere.
Yeah, Freiburger broke it.
I'm hoping it did that just because I was steering the thing without the engine running.
Dude, I know. You give the guy the keys for 3 miles. Well, look what happens.
Anyway, we had gas with us.
I can't even have a nice meal. You know, can't even eat it while it's warm.
All right, this thing's been getting about 5.5 miles to the gallon. That picked up.
All right, we have 3 gallons. We need to hurry to a gas station.
I hope we make it.
We got this. It's the greatest truck ever!
This is it.
Reading drag strip. That's a cool sign.
That's really neat. We made it. The final drag strip on this particular journey.
It's gonna be a good day. This is the kind of air to make horsepower in.
Finnegan, ask me how many drag strips I've been to.
Freiburger, what does this make? How many strips?
109! And finally, on this trip, we're gonna get to race the 56.
There we go.
The density altitude right now, which is like altitude corrected for temperature and pressure, is below sea level. So if it will hook up on a cold track, the 56 should run quicker than ever. I'm gonna put on my race suit because it's cold.
Yeah, you are wearing flip-flops, brother.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed.
I'm gonna unload the 56 and we're in action.
All right.
Yeah. Will it run in this freezing cold weather? When a track is cold, you can have dew problems and also the glue isn't sticky. So we're gonna wait for that to warm up. And while we are, I have to fix some stuff on this. I wanna change spark plugs. The last guy who drove it was Gil from Hot Rod Ranch. He ran it up at a Tucson Dragway event and it went 1170s, but he told me that it had a big misfire problem. These spark plugs are all really rich from running at high altitude at Tucson. And now we're at much lower density altitude, so there's more air, which will automatically lean it out. The next thing I'm gonna look at here is the rear shock adjustment. The last time we ran this at Famoso, it had too much separation. It was driving the tire into the ground so hard that it was like flattening the slick. And I think we found out that the optimum number of clicks on the QA1 shock is 6, so I'm just gonna verify that's where they are. 6. Okay, that's done. Man, Gil told me this thing had a problem where the ignition would just shut off, and I just experienced, it's like you're cruising along and it just goes, that's it. It's not like a misfire. It's like you turned it off, turned it back on really fast. I've gone through and checked all the connections. I can't find anything except for the main power to the MSD box is on the back of the ignition switch, which is super sketch. So we're gonna take a wire and run it all the way to the battery. I wonder if we can connect it right here.
Oh, yeah.
There are 2 red wires coming off an MSD box. One of them is switched to ignition. The other one is supposed to go straight to the battery. Mine goes to the back of the ignition switch, which is not the way you're supposed to do it. So I'm gonna fix it.
Okay. You look good. Just go fast. It's perfectly smooth. It's perfectly prepped. There's no wind. Feel good. You got this. That's a burnout right there, boy.
That didn't work.
So I think on his first attempt, he pretty much just dumped the clutch because it did a good job of smashing the tire into the ground and just spinning as it took off. He's either gonna have to leave it a lower RPM or ride the clutch out of the hole because it's really cold here.
Okay, that was a 4,000 RPM leave. Let's see what we can get. Cut off! Oh, that's annoying.
So our rewiring trick did not solve the problem of the ignition completely shutting off in the middle of the run.
Bummer. It spun a little bit on that 3,000 RPM leave. You know, the track is really cold. Looks like my belt didn't fly off because my temperature is good. There it did it again. Did you hear that? No idea what that's about.
Dude, not bad. It turned off though, didn't it?
It shut off.
Damn. You're on 1144 at a $1.19, dude. It bogged. So you can go a little more in between. There's more in the launch.
But let's not overlook the fact that it just went quicker than it ever has been.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
It sounded amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a time slip.
Oh, cool.
Data?
Show. So that's a mile an hour quicker than or faster than it's been. Did you hear it shut off?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you fire it up and I'll jiggle this wire. Let's see what happens here. Okay. I don't see anything here. Why don't I go out there and jiggle the wires to the coil? It was on there between the plastic and the terminal. It wasn't in the terminal.
Oh. Let's pinch those down and make them go on tighter.
Okay. You got this. More cowbell, it'll go faster.
All right, first launch was 4,000. Second launch was 3,000. We're gonna try 35.
Okay, pass number 3. We just tightened up some connections on the coil, went through all the connections on the ignition box and ignition switch. It all seems to be pretty good now. He's gonna raise the launch RPM about 500. I think it's gonna go quicker.
That is so annoying. Okay, we're gonna have to look into that ignition switched wire.
You're lined up on bald spots out there, whether
Okay.
it's the middle or the left.
I think we need to chase the ignition wire to the box now.
This thing's making some power, man. It's running more mile an hour than it ever has. Need to work on the whole shot a little bit, but more importantly, it just keeps turning off right around the top of third gear every pass. And so we've looked through all the wiring as best we can. We're now gonna isolate the ignition wiring for the ignition box from everything else in the car. We're gonna add another toggle switch in the car that'll just turn the box on and off. Go make another hit and see if it shuts off again. I think you just need more laps in this thing and it's gonna do it.
It just cut.
It just cut off while he was doing the burnout. He's gonna go anyway. $1170 at 119. It didn't sound like it shut off. It did bog when he left the line though.
So I bank shift 1-2 and it slipped the clutch. So after that, I started granny shifting it. Probably not gonna add up to my best pass. It spun the clutch on the 1-2.
Oh, that's what that was.
Yep.
It didn't sound like it shut off this time though.
It didn't. It shut down a couple times on the way down, but it didn't do it down the track.
That's so strange.
It is so strange.
Well, I just say go again and have fun.
I will, but I think we're gonna kiss my clutch adios as I do.
It just keeps getting worse, man. We just keep getting roadkill. Hey, what if the coil's taking a crap?
Maybe. We're still having that ignition cutout problem. We've fixed every wire we can fix, so now we're changing the ignition coil. And if that doesn't work, then our only hope is the ignition box, but we're also running out of time here.
It's brand new to us, but it's chrome, and chrome always works.
You know where that came from? It came off that fire truck right there.
Fire truck's gonna save the day. Hopefully, not later on the track, but right here, right now.
Yeah. It's shutting off still.
Yeah, all right. I'll take it. 1149, real close to his PB.
Still turning off, though.
Our last choice is to change the ignition box.
Why not?
I
Let's
know.
do it.
Fortunately, the guys here at Redding Drag Strip said that they could actually dial us in with a box exactly like the one we have. So I say let's give it a shot. We're down to 45 minutes. Make it happen.
Let's speed things up. You back up. That's where the tools are.
But hey, look at the bright side. The car already has run its quickest ET ever at 11:44, and I just went 11:49 at the same mile an hour, 119. So we're actually doing pretty good in a roadkill kind of way.
Now, we're taking the box out of the car and wire nut this other box in here and hope that solves the problem, because Dave, I think, has figured out the drag strip and the whole shot thing, because he just laid down his second best pass today.
You know what this car needs that would fix all of this? A blower. That would fix it.
Wow, what a day. Never forget, we have the coil out of a fire truck and an ignition box we borrowed from a bystander.
It hasn't popped yet.
This is gonna be great.
Oh, that was it.
We're out of gas?
No.
Let me see if the light is blinking on the box. Wow, it just keeps getting worse. Turn the ignition on.
On.
Go ahead and crank it. It's blinking. That's weird, dude.
That's got no spark. Nope. Pop the distributor cap, see if the rotor broke.
Okay, crank it. All right, hold on. It's on there. It's not loose. Rotor's fine.
You could change the pickup in the distributor.
Yeah, let's do that.
Here's the next step. I was pulling to the starting line, and the thing just flat died and won't refire and has no spark. Another one of the guys here at the track brought us a distributor, and we're gonna change the magnetic pickup inside the thing.
We're now attempting to change the magnetic pickup, except we can't get it out of our old distributor. So we're now changing the distributor. Once it comes out of the motor, we have to retime the motor.
So here's the other thing. That has a bronze distributor drive gear on it right there, and you can see that our new distributor has a steel one, and that's not gonna work with our solid roller camshaft. So now we have to put that gear on this distributor. Ooh, nice.
Beautiful.
Okay.
All right, that's our gear going on his distributor.
Here's one thing to know when you're doing this. A factory Chevy distributor has a 0.491 inch shaft in it, and the aftermarket MSD one, and most aftermarket ones, is a 500 shaft. So that's very, very similar, but it will mess you up if you're trying to change these gears and have the wrong thing. All right, let's go.
Sweet.
Oh, dude.
Nice. Which one's number one?
One.
Okay, so here's two.
Cranking.
There's no spark, dude.
This is ridiculous. We just spent all that time changing a distributor, changing the coil, changing every bit of wiring, and it was that we had 2 ignition boxes that failed. At least that's what I think. Maybe this one's gonna die too because of something we did wrong. I don't know. Okay, it's got vacuum advance, so you have to give it about 4,000, I think. Okay. Okay, let me tighten that down. Boy, was that a thrash. 3 ignition boxes to make this happen, man.
Come on, Freiburger, you can do this. Yes! No! Good shift, come on. Woo! 1138, 120, new PB. No more boxes in this car. I'm done.
That wasn't my full-on bang shifting best. I was a little nervous after missing that one gear. All the vitals look good. Ooh, the clutch is not awesome. But you know what? It didn't misfire on the way down.
That was great.
Did we actually win?
Yeah, man.
What did it do?
1138 and $120.
Nice!
New PB.
120!
Yeah, man. Left like a boss. They'll let you go one more if you want.
Awesome. Okay, let's go.
I knew it. All right, we're gonna go one more, and then we're drinking heavily.
do it again, only better.
Nice! 121, dude, it went even faster.
That was bang shifting right there, man. The clutch slipped, but that was bang shifting. No lift. The greatest thing about this car is how the front end rises when you bang second. So fun. This car's awesome. You know what? That was a long way to go, but all of that work was worth it. That is a Roadkill win. Finnegan's super truck dually towed flawlessly all the way here, and then we finally sorted out the field car. Woo!
Dude,
What was it?
it went 121 and change. It
Really?
went 1141. You were off 300. It's no big deal.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I was bang shifting that thing.
That was the most violent shift I've ever seen out of this car.
I did not mess around, and the clutch slips between every single one of them.
Yeah, well, you can hear it flare, but
Yeah.
I think that might actually be helping you.
Maybe.
Keeps the RPMs up, you know?
That was some of the greatest bang shifting of my life. And it's all in one piece. It's got everybody else's parts all over it, but it's all in one piece. I feel that was a win, and we're quitting while we're ahead, which is unusually responsible in season 12 of Roadkill.
Yeah, we're getting more mature.
Nah.
2 more burnouts is what you're saying.
No. Out.
Oh.
Let's pack it up.
Okay.
Man, that was fun.
It was awesome. Thank you for watching Roadkill. Whew.
I summoned you, please come to me. Don't bury thoughts that you really want. I fill you up, drink from my cup. Within my life's what you really want. Come, lay me down, 'cause you know this, 'cause you know this sound. In the middle of the night, in the middle of the night, just call my name, I'm yours to take. In the middle of the night, in the middle of the night, I'm wide awake, I crave your taste all night long, till morning comes, I'm getting what is mine, you gon' get your son. Oh, in the middle of the night, in the middle of the night, oh. These burning flames, these crashing waves wash over me like a hurricane. I captivate, you're hypnotized, feel powerful, but it's me again. Come, let me down, 'cause I know this, 'cause I know this sound. In the middle of the night, in the middle of the night, just call my name, I'm yours to take. In the middle of the night, in the middle of the night, I'm wide awake, I crave your taste all night long, till morning comes, I'm getting what is mine, you gon' get yourself now. In the middle of the night, in the middle of the night,
hurricane.
West in our F-250.
And man, it is clapped out.
Oh, it's junk.
But we rescued it.
Fixed.
We're in Sandy, Oregon. Our crew guy Mason bought this 67 F-250 4x4, and it's got like a later model grill and stuff, so don't freak out when you see it and you're like, that's not a 67. But regardless, we're going to Wildcat Auto Wrecking, and we're gonna go shopping. This is a Mopar only yard.
Do you think they'll let us on the property in our Ford? What is this, an F-250?
Yeah, 4x4. This truck's great.
So far, so good. We've got a little getting used to the shifter.
Yeah, the carburetor's pretty terrible.
Like, it just has a happy spot near wide open throttle, and that's it. But our crew guy, Mason, drove this over 100 miles, so I'd humiliate myself if I have trouble with it.
I know.
Yeah. Being out here in the Pacific Northwest, driving an F-250 from the late 60s, long bed, 4x4 on skinny tires, it's just something feels right about it to me.
100%.
Really?
Yeah. We could just drive this home and fix it for Mason, since he obviously would not be able to solve this carburetor on his own.
No.
I'm starting to fall in love with the F-250. I'm seriously considering driving it home now.
It would be a joyous drive.
That's not very good.
It surges.
And pops. Made it. Yeah. I love the truck, but man, it runs like doo-doo.
It does.
A Wildcat Auto Wrecking in Sandy, Oregon. It's a Mopar-only yard, and they have everything, including the wiring harness that we removed from the General Mayhem. So why are we here? Let's just review. A very recent episode of Roadkill Garage had me and Dulcich going to Yakima, Washington to pick up my Wagoneer. And on the road home with the Wagoneer, we stopped by another wrecking yard where Dulcich impulsively bought a 1964 Cadillac DeVille. The DeVille, as you know, is the convertible model. And we weren't able to resist the Cadillac, so we began to motor that thing home. But then we left it right here at Wildcat Auto Wrecking. So on this episode of Roadkill, we had planned to bring the Cadillac all the way home. But then Mason, our crew guy, bought that 67 F-250. And Dulcich and I drove it over here and just fell in love with the thing. So what's gonna happen is Dulcich and I are gonna drive that F-250, hopefully fix it up for Mason along the way. Probably not. And then he is gonna drive the Cadillac. And what this means is that we have twice the chances at failure, but look at it this way. It's also double the chance that at least one of them is gonna make it all the way back to Steve's house. So that's the plan. We're gonna surf around here at the wrecking yard just for a little bit because we can, and then we're gonna hit the road.
We can't rescue our crew member from this truck, but we may be able to rescue the truck from our crew member.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
You know what I like about this one?
No.
Is the key all the way over here.
Just like a CUDA.
Yeah. Well, the CUDA's on the tail panel. This is on the trunk.
If you were a collector of police vehicles, it's pure gold.
Oh, there's a bunch of C-bodies over here. Wow, look at that Challenger. This is factory pink. I'm really bad at years on
I think
these.
it's probably a 58, I would guess.
Yeah, I'm not good at that, but I know it's pink. Man, we had a great time walking around Wildcat Auto. We didn't see anything that we wanted to rescue this time. Nothing that was anywhere near running and driving. So I guess we're gonna take off and cross your fingers. We'll see how far we make it.
Be prepared, it's not gonna start.
I know. Ugh. Woo! Wow, look at it smoke out the valve cover. That's got no spark. Stop. You're gonna kill the starter.
I think what we need to do is get one of the production vehicles and put jumper cables to the battery.
Give it a shot. That should fire. It's cranking fast. Wait. Yes! All right, Steve, 8,000 RPM.
Yeah. Woo-hoo!
So you know, this will be a comedy. Let's go. So what are your bets, Steve? Are these both gonna make it all the way to your place?
Oh, 100%.
Which one are we gonna work on more?
This truck,
Yeah. I
the
think so,
Cadillac's
too.
pretty much turnkey as long as we keep oil in it.
Yeah. So here's what this truck is.
So let's hear it.
It's a 1967 F-250. It's got later model, like, front clip on it, grill and fenders, and a different bed. It's a Ford FE engine, FE meaning Ford Edsel. It's a 352, we presume, and it's an NP 435 4-speed transmission with granny low, and I think it's a 205 transfer case, but I have not looked at it to confirm.
What rear end do they use in these?
This should have a Dana 60 and a Dana 44.
Oh, okay. And it's a divorce transfer case, I presume?
Yeah.
It does kind of fit the country here.
I love it. Thinking about moving here.
Have you seen any Sasquatches yet?
Not yet. Wow, this thing's smoking out the left bank pretty hard.
Yeah, it is.
I would let this thing cool off and then we should work on it.
Yeah.
We should do goop, we should do coolant, we should do something about the carburetor.
Yeah. Once you get going at steady speed, though, I think it's fairly okay.
Where's the hood? Maybe we can lube the hood hinges.
Yeah.
We're anxious to hit the road here, but we figure we need to go through some maintenance. So we're gonna change the oil, change the spark plugs, check the charging system, spray the carburetor because there's not much else we can do right now, and then try it again. Steven mentioned he thought this was a 205 transfer case, which is actually really good. It's not. This is a Spicer Model 24. It is a two-speed, like an F100 would have a Spicer 21 that is actually a transfer case with no low range. Steve, do you mind throwing me a gear oil? Let's hit this with some sauce.
David, come on. Control yourself.
All right, trims.
Hey, David.
There's the one.
Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O, look at that one.
Bingo.
That one's pumping a little oil.
Was that 8?
That was...
Remember? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? It's numbered.
Isn't it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8?
No.
Yes, and it's number 8. In which case, I wasn't going to argue with you.
This one is junk.
Yes.
Wow. That is a lot of oil. Trans is good.
Good. This battery is not a very comfortable seat, but it's all I've got.
This is a Dana 60 rear axle, and it should have 456 gears in it with really short tires. That is gonna buzz some RPM on the highway.
David, I think you might have some digestive issues need addressing.
This thing was empty. I got all the oil drained out. I think we decided to go 2 goops and 3 quarts of actual oil. 1 goop in. What I'm pouring in here is super thick, super goo, high mileage engine treatment.
So there's no ambiguity about it. This carburetor is not functioning properly. Thinking maybe there's just a little bit of dirt in the air bleeds or something like that. I'm gonna try spraying it out with some carb cleaning, brake cleaner. If it doesn't work any better, we'll probably have to take it apart and rebuild it. I really doubt that's gonna do anything, but might as well give it a shot.
Cranking slow. Oh, it wanted to, it wanted to. There it goes. It's gonna go. Got it. I think we should check the firing order on this thing. Could lead to it running the way it is. Ah, that's a lot of smoke out of the valve cover. I'm gonna check the voltage, see if it's charging, which it isn't. Went from 11.6 to 11.9.
I don't think that's charging
I
at
don't
all.
think it is either.
What you just witnessed right there is a FE big block Ford running terribly.
154.26378.
Okay.
So here's 154.63. Ah, I was hoping that was way wrong.
Yeah.
Now we're looking at the points to see how they are. It appears to be new. The lobes on the cam are not junk. The distributor doesn't have too much wobble in it.
These are all carboned up.
Yeah. I think we're gonna attempt to buy a new cap for the thing and see if that helps. Okay, go, Steve. So much better. The other problem we're experiencing is that the charging system is not working, which we tested just a minute ago.
Yeah, I didn't see anything here on the amp meter, which...
Yeah, wonder, this has got a new alternator on it. Oh, wait, there's wires falling off of it. Okay, I'm gonna make Steve troubleshoot that because he made me change all the fluids, and I'm gonna go get a distributor cap. Part store is just like in this parking lot, super handy. I'm making you rewire the alternator while I go get a distributor cap.
Okay. Okay, so that's not connected to anything. This one seems to be connected to something. We're trying to get the charging system working. We found a brand new regulator in the truck bed, and I'm gonna put that in and see if it helps. It can't hurt. So, here it goes.
Old cap, new cap. Okay, I don't know if that'll help, but it can't hurt. Now we're gonna test it. Firing. 12.1, 12.2, 12.3, 4, 5. That works. And you'll notice that it runs slightly better. That carburetor is still trash, but we're gonna deal with that later. We gotta find a store that has a carb kit. For now, we're hitting the road.
It has to find carburetor. Man, that's terrible.
Yeah. Oh, we're going east to Mount Hood before we go south.
Okay. It needs that perfect blend of RPM, throttle position, and speed.
It's definitely the carburetor.
Or it could be fuel delivery.
Or that, yeah. It's kind of refreshing not knowing the temperature or oil pressure.
An overheating issue, the engine will speak to us by the smell.
Start to clatter.
The valve train clattering, the inevitable rod knock, the engine seizing.
Right. That guy thought he was getting shot.
Yeah. The engine's dead.
It doesn't like the sudden decel.
The engine's dead.
This thing died coming down the hill because when you lift off the throttle, I think the idle is too low. We pushed it in here with the help of crew guys and a good Samaritan, which was cool. And now we're gonna see if we can get it running. Yeah, it puked everywhere out the bypass. Steve's gonna idle it up now to see if we can fix that dying problem. Start!
Come on!
Ah,
We need jumper cables.
we need a new fix for this. Sounds good. All right, let me check spark. Hold on, big fire. There we go, it stopped. When you stopped cranking, it stopped burning.
Maybe the coil got hot and now it's not giving a very strong spark. Like, is it a baby spark? Like baby, not baby shark, don't break out into song here.
It jumped half an inch or a quarter inch.
Okay.
Set everything on fire.
Well, you could do a song called Baby Spark if you want to.
No thanks.
We got ourselves a brand new high-performance coil, so hopefully our spark will be more intense and this thing will fire through the fog of blow-by and oil contamination and whatever else. It sounds better to me.
Andy idled it up, so it's running faster now. So what do you think? Did it fire up because of the coil or because it cooled down?
Cool down.
Yeah.
And the coil.
Yeah, win! Ha ha!
That was pretty good. Engine's dead. How far do we get?
38 yards.
Oh.
It's arguably worse than before. It's just...
Yeah, something like that.
Right.
Attaboy.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a lot of pressure.
That is definitely hot.
We didn't even get a quarter of a mile down the road, and it started to really buck and not want to cooperate. Don't do this at home. It can be dangerous. Okay, gotten rid of all the dangerous pressure. Ready?
So the voltage is 10.6 while it's running, but it's only 6 volts when you turn the ignition on. So what I'm seeing here is that it doesn't have full power to the coil when cranking at all, and when it is running, it's low power. We're gonna try a jumper wire from the battery to the coil to see if it makes it run any better.
Oh, for crying out loud, now we got trouble.
We're at the point of troubleshooting by guess. Steve told me to advance the timing, so that's what I'm gonna do. That's advanced. Give it a shot.
Minivan. It's so painful.
This is what you get when you let a production assistant buy a car.
It is absolutely agonizing.
Yes. All right, crew, we need your minivan again. What we're gonna do this time is jump it directly to the starter relay. Didn't do anything.
Do you want to give it a shot of ether, and then I'll just start it right up?
The ether's a proven failure.
Yeah, I know, but it makes me feel better.
Yeah, you like it.
It worked.
Let's go.
Mason, move that Cadillac.
Is it not gonna want to climb the hill?
It will.
That's fuel, right?
Sure does feel like it.
Yeah, I mean, this engine's shot. Although I notice it's not smoking today because of the goop.
Yeah.
We're climbing up the grade to Mount Hood. This is frustrating.
It's not getting any gas.
Nah. That's a wide spot. You want to stop? What a mess. All right, our new theory is fuel delivery problem is why it won't climb a hill. And the problem with not starting when hot?
It's unrelated.
Unrelated, but frustrating.
We suspect that the built-in fuel filter on the mechanical fuel pump is clogged up because it seems like we're having fuel starvation. Now, that's a cartridge-type filter, and we don't have an extra one, but we do have an inline filter, an electric fuel pump, and a bunch of hose.
We've totally butchered this fuel system together with a ton of hose and zip ties and a pump that we had in the trunk of the Cadillac from our last adventure. I've got it really poorly wired here. What we're gonna do is run the pump and hope that we see fuel flowing in this filter, as long as it doesn't catch on fire.
Hope so.
There it goes.
Really?
Sweet. No leak at the carburetor. What we're doing here is arranging the ground wire for the fuel pump to be grounded inside the cab. That way we can turn it on and off without having to open the hood. Try it, Steve. It's working! All right, Steve, the pump's running. You want to see if it'll fire?
Of course.
Perfect.
This is literally the best it's ever run.
Watch this be the whole fix for the whole thing. Let's go. Oh!
It's me no happy. Ah!
I heard one thing fire.
We need starting fluid.
Steve's making me do starting fluid.
Come on, start!
This thing will not run on ether. How does that make any sense?
You won't start, you won't climb a hill. Oh, truck. Our boy Mason came and bought you. Oh, truck.
We're chasing our tails.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, it's one thing, it's the next, it's the next. It's like,
Get back?
oh, what's this?
Yeah, I know.
Look at that.
I just saw that.
Ah.
Something's shorting out inside this distributor.
We found a major and unusual problem with that dead short that was going on in the distributor. The condenser wire, which is connected also to the points power wire, was grounding out against the breaker plate. That should solve all of this. I also noticed that there's some carbon tracking on the tip of the rotor here, so we're just gonna sand that a little bit here on the ground. All right, I'm proud of that. We're good. Rotor, cap. As the sun sets on a beautiful Oregon day here on Roadkill, we're gonna make this thing run and GTFO. Make it run, Steve.
I will make it run right now. You ready?
Like that. Keep it running.
That's the best it's ever run.
Bye-bye. Oh, this is the best it's ever run.
I know.
Oh, still no good. That was not expert troubleshooting on our behalf. We did not display expertise. Well, we eliminated fuel delivery, which I think was a problem.
Yeah,
We solved the short in the distributor, which was clearly a problem.
absolutely.
And now we're down to the carburetor just being garbage.
Yeah, which it's been all along. Once we get past Mount Hood, the rest of the state is conquered. Right?
Yep. Now we're going downhill. I feel pretty good.
It likes downhill.
And cooler weather. Oh yeah, that's cool outside now.
Yeah, actually, it's very comfortable.
Yeah.
I like it as much as the truck.
Yeah. It's getting into the 60s, I think. Man, what an adventure this has been. We named the truck Pops because that's all it really does. You didn't see it on camera, but we like ran out of gas in the middle of the highway. Big Bad Thrash, get out, fill it up, go. It was like a disaster. And then Mason, who's driving the Cadillac and who owns the Ford, told us that this thing is starting to clatter, meaning the valve train's starting to make noise. So I'm gonna stop and put some goop and some oil in it. 1 goop, 2 oils, and ready to go. What a pain this thing is. Yeah. We gotta fix this tomorrow. No question. We're in Bend, Oregon. Yesterday was a snafu, even by Roadkill standards. See, we need to make 220 miles a day in order to get all the way home, and we only made 130. To me, the problem is we're throwing parts at it, we're flailing, and we need, like, home, complete peace, and actual troubleshooting. So that's what we're gonna do, is work on the truck, we're gonna troubleshoot the thing in order, and then after that, we need to work on the Cadillac because it sounds like the starter's probably falling off.
Yeah, I think you're right on that diagnosis.
I want to check for vacuum leak, then compression test.
Okay, we can do it that way.
Yeah. He's going for the Dulcich 3 pump. We got the fuel pump going. The accelerator pump does work in this thing, by the way. Running. So far, so good. I'm gonna say it's good. Yeah, I think it's all right. All right, shut it off so it doesn't get too hot. Next thing we're gonna do is pull out all the spark plugs and do a compression test.
Still very oily.
It's way worse than the others.
Yeah, that one is me no happy.
Yeah. Here's our compression testing tool. We've got all of the spark plugs out. Steve's gonna crank it. This thing is gonna show us a PSI, and we'll see if there's any one cylinder that's worse than the others. Number 5. Okay, that was 60, Steve.
Yeah, that's all you get is 5 cranks.
Okay, that was 100.
That fires.
Yeah. Now we're going to cylinder number 7.
Let me guess, 85.
That's exactly what that is. All right, now we're going to number 8. This is our biggie. Wow, 70.
70?
Yeah, it's junk. All of these should be like 120-ish. Yeah, that's really bad. That's a big part of this thing not starting, is it's got no compression. And when the rings are that shot, they also don't draw fuel on the intake stroke. They need to have a good seal in order to create a pressure drop. So it's got no vacuum leak, no compression.
No compression. Not only is the engine trash, but the carburetor's garbage and the distributor is junk.
So what do you want to do next, distributor or carburetor?
How about if we go with the carburetor? I've been itching to rebuild that carburetor since we started.
We got a rebuild kit here in town, and what's amazing is a local parts store actually had this distributor, so we're gonna mess with that later as well. Look at that crud right there. Hopefully that's all the way through the carburetor and the passages and stuff. It'll explain our problem. That is straight up dirt.
Yeah.
There's crud in the carb.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, look at that.
Are you serious?
Dead cereal.
Our jet area has been reduced to probably 1/3 of its original size.
You can also see the silt in the back of this one and not as much in that one.
Hey, David, are we going to bother with this rebuild kit?
Steve.
I didn't want to ask you a rhetorical question, but everything came off just perfectly serviceable.
The only reason we needed the rebuild kit is so that we had the confidence to take the carburetor apart. But we're Freiburger and Dulcich. We don't need that. No carburetor can stop us.
No.
Ta-da! Our new carburetor has arrived. It's actually not new at all. We took it apart, cleaned it up. We're gonna put it back on. It's gonna run like fuel injection. Okay, let's reinstall it. Now we find out if the carburetor works. Ooh, what if it starts really easily? We got the thing running, but it still runs terrible. I'm gonna check the timing because I think that could be way out of whack. Okay, rev it up! When I was trying to do the ignition timing, it was super erratic. Sometimes the light wasn't flashing at all. Other times it was telling me like 13 degrees. Sometimes it was 30 degrees. And here's why. I totally should have believed Dulcich when he said this yesterday or day before yesterday, that the breaker plate in this distributor is so loose, it's junk, which explains why the point gap change. Remember last night when you were all crawled in here and I was saying, how does the gap just change from one stop to another? That's why. Look at it.
I think it's flopping around the deck like a fish out of water.
We were able to get a new distributor. I can't believe small town Oregon had those.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they drive a lot of high boys around here.
All the good stuff.
Yeah. Check this out. The brand new distributor has a sticker on it that says, warranty void if removed. You can't install the distributor without removing the gap. This is a crazy world.
I know.
I got it out, Steve.
Okay.
The thing you don't want to do is drop the oil pump push rod down into the crankcase. Because, see, it is a hex-shaped shaft that goes in there, and it should have a retaining clip so that it can't come up, but sometimes they will. Fortunately, I saved it. New. All right, Steve's already lubed the distributor gear. Okay, in the right spot. There. Got it.
You did?
Nailed it, Steve.
Freiburger.
Yeah.
Your talent never ceases to amaze me. Nice move on that.
Finally, we think it's fixed, although I'm not going to swear to anything till we drive it. We stabbed that distributor in there. I timed it to 12 degrees initial, 30 degrees total, pretty conservative. It finally runs smooth. I think it's going to be perfect. Whoa! Dude! Okay, in my defense, that thing was dangling like a piece of spaghetti and not even al dente.
Well, it kept changing all the time.
That's the thing.
Sometimes it would hit and sometimes it wouldn't.
Sometimes it would spark, sometimes it wouldn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was 13 degrees, sometimes it was 30. We still have to fix the Cadillac, though.
I think maybe the starter's falling out of that.
I think so.
If I could go wide open. I couldn't go wide open before.
This is great. Our distributor was junk, and the carburetor had major problems.
Oh, yeah, they both were junk.
Yep.
And we're not backfiring, you know, like...
No, this is so much better. Night and day difference. Wow, this thing is good. It's actually unbelievable, the difference. It is completely drivable, no bogging. You can go wide open.
Yeah, it's fixed.
Yeah. Never question the Dulcich when he says the distributor is bad. Cadillac, we gotta look at the starter.
Here's the thing with the Cadillac. It seems to be running pretty good despite burning copious amounts of oil. But every time you start it, the starter gronches. I think it may just be falling off.
Sounds like it to me, because when it's running, it also goes...
Oh, you're moving the whole transmission.
Yeah. It's got a new torque converter.
Oh, there's an adapter. Yeah. We went down to fix the starter and found out that, like, everything's loose down there. Primarily, the torque converter bolts are not tight to the flex plate. We were also looking, the transmission has an adapter to go to the engine that's cast iron about that thick. And there's like an unusual amount of wiggle between them, but we can't tell if that's just flex or normal. So first thing we're gonna do is tighten up the converter. And by we, I mean Steve. Clear?
Yep.
It's backing up, isn't it?
Stop right there.
Stopping there, keys are out.
Well, kind of explore that noise, as you know. I mean, you found the loose torque converter bolt, so that was a problem. And I tightened those all up, but the starter doesn't engage the flywheel very well. It's making a lot of gronching, but it's functional, and it's not, you can't just stick a shim in there and fix that, so.
Ah, that is hideous, but we're not fixing it. All right, let's get out of here. I thought we had this thing fixed.
Me too.
We're on the highway and it started surging and running bad, and then it just shut off twice.
I'm kind of in favor of putting the mechanical pump back on. We know that a lot of times those pumps don't like to lift, and then you add all the heat, it might not be happy.
We've been hashing this out, and I think what we decided to do is hook back up the mechanical fuel pump and get rid of the electric one, which we installed just sort of as a guess. Let's see if it works. It should fire right up. It should be gas in the bowl.
Yeah.
Ugh. Steve says it's fixed. And when Dulcich talks, people listen. Yeah, this thing runs hot.
Yeah, it does.
This is a debacle. We're driving down the highway, and once again, It starts running out of gas, surging, bucking, dying. The thing is, when it's that hot, if it blows off a radiator hose or the cap bypasses and it hits you in the face, you're gonna look like Freddy Krueger. Oh, we're taking the hood off. Ready?
Man, it's heavy.
It is.
It seemed like it settled in place.
Yeah, it like fit itself in.
Nice.
Will it work?
Will it start?
Yeah. Yes. There it goes. The curve of my emotions looks like a cardiogram,
I know.
and it's soon to flatline.
I know, me too.
This is among the most frustrating roadkills ever. This is stupid. I took a bolt off the hood. I am gonna shove it in here. I'm gonna hold it near the valve cover, and it should spark. Nothing. After another session of a ridiculous amount of troubleshooting, we finally figured it out. We traced it all back down inside the distributor, and we noticed there was a huge spark across the ignition points when they would open. Those sparks will eat up the points, which is exactly what happened. They were destroyed. One of two reasons. First, this condenser that was in our brand new distributor could be garbage. Second of all, the points that were in our brand new distributor could be garbage. There's actually a third reason that's a big possibility, which is that when you're running an MSD coil or any coil that doesn't have an internal ballast resistor, with points ignition, you end up needing a ballast resistor to reduce the voltage to the coil. Now, I had measured that earlier, and when we were running, we only had about 9 volts. I thought that was okay. Maybe it only wants 7. We'll find out. Normally, if you're running a ballast resistor, you've got a circuit that bypasses it while it's cranking, so the thing will start, and then it'll run at lower voltage. We don't have that right now, so it only has 2 volts to the coil. Let's find out. Bring it up and hold it! Seven and a half when running, and it seems to fire up. I'm calling it great. Let's get out of here. Finally. Thank you guys. Bye. Oh, man. Oh, it's so nice to hear it running great again.
I know.
Woo!
I'm glad it started with the ballast resistor.
Look at all that oil pressure.
Yeah,
It's a flawless piece of equipment.
it is now. It was a flawed piece of equipment before.
Yeah, it was horrible. I'm glad that you took that bullet.
Yeah,
It was
well,
pretty frustrating to drive. I hope the stupid Cadillac doesn't break and ruin our trip.
it won't.
We looked at the map, and there's a dirt road down here. Obviously, we got to check that out.
Look at this bridge.
Pretty nice.
Wow.
Well, at dinner last night, we bought Mason a Shirley Temple, and he was telling us that he was actually crying driving his own truck. It's really bad, all the oil smoke pouring into this thing, and that's what we have to fix. But you bought stuff yesterday.
Obviously, I came up with an ingenious solution to that problem.
I know.
All right, check it out, Freiburger.
So you're putting the thing on.
Twist
and-
on breather cap.
And then, oh, you're making a road draft tube.
How did you know?
Yeah.
The hose goes into the hole.
Kind of a press fit.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
And then
Who are you gonna aim it at?
right out the wheel well.
Oh, I figured you were gonna make me suffer.
No, no. It's fixed.
I know, it looks great. That was ingenious.
Thank you, Freiburger.
So it's going to be 106 degrees today.
Oh, warm and balmy.
The hood is off, so I think we're going to be all right.
Yeah.
We're headed to another junkyard. Looks like everything's fixed.
Yeah. I'm liking it right now. The tendency is to go too fast, so my only thing is not to let it get away from me.
Yeah, don't push it.
No. I'll keep it at 60 tops.
We made it to Big M Auto Wrecking in Williams, California. Whoa.
Look at all these cool cars.
I know. This is a great yard. This place is a gold mine.
Wow.
Wow. When you first come in here, it's like junkyard nirvana. You look at all the steering wheels, all the hubcaps, and to me, the old signs are the greatest. Look at the ancient oil company credit card sign, and there's way more. This is just great. Look at all of this stuff. As great as this whole yard is, the best treasures are right here. There's the 57 Fury, which is like a Christine car. But look at this. It's a 1969 Hearst Olds. This thing is one of 914 made. They were a special Hearst edition. They've got a fiberglass hood with the scoops on them. There's also a wing on the back that's fiberglass. The engine is a 455, 380 horsepower, 500 pound-feet. That is like a legit, very rare muscle car. And you just don't see them like this. That's as cool as it gets. I've seen this many engines at a yard before. I've just never seen them stored like this. Wow. Man, I love this stuff. But unfortunately, it's time to go. Can you get it started?
Betcha.
Ooh, best yet.
We've got it all tuned up, man. Get out of here and head for home.
From here, both of the vehicles just made it home, no problem. But what a way to bookend an episode, from junkyard to junkyard. As a matter of fact, the whole thing is about junk. From the Wagoneer, to the Cadillac, to the Ford truck that ran horribly when we started. And that's the message this whole episode. If you've got a vehicle and you think it doesn't run that good, just grab a friend and hit the road. It's the only thing that's gonna force you to fix the thing. And yeah, our troubleshooting was a little bit clunky, but ultimately we made that truck run better than any vehicle on 6 cylinders really should. So you know what? Buy garbage, grab a friend, make it run, hit the road, and have a blast. Oh, and visit junkyards at every chance you get, because that's what we do on Roadkill.